Hello students, a very good morning. So today let's discuss the next chapter, that is laws of motion. So as we have discussed the motion of any particle along the straight line and along plane, and in the case of plane, projectile motion and circular motions, now we are aware of it. Now whenever a particle that has some of the mass that is moving along any circle or moving along any you can say projectile path or moving along any straight line, then which of the physical quantity is responsible for the motion of any particle? So the quantity that is responsible for generation of motion or to stop it, that is the force. So here in this chapter we will discuss about the force, the generation of force, how can we define the force, how can we give the formulas for the force. So that all we will discuss. So we will start first the chapter with the concept of force now. So as what is the concept of force? So by daily life experience, you know, force is something through which we can pull or push some of the things or some of objects. Means if we have to just produce motion, then either we can do it by pulling the object or we can do it by pushing the object. So it means that whenever we are applying some of the you can say push or pull work, then that time we are saying that we are producing some of the force there and we are providing the body to any of kind of motion. So it means in life the work is now we are converting into the force by displacing it. So we can also define our force in the terms of work. So to displace any of the body, then the work needed, that is known as the force done on it or force applied on it. So in general, if physics, you will see what is the force. So force is related to simple push or pull effect that we are just providing to any of the object now. Now again, after the description of the force, the property of body that is opposing any kind of push or pull, that we will discuss, and that is the concept of inertia now. So whenever someone is pushing you or anyone try to pull you, then that time automatically body react in opposite direction to that applied force. So the property of the body through which it is opposing any kind of motion or it is opposing its state of motion or race, then it is known as inertia. So you can say now inertia is the property through which it is opposing the change in its initial state. So initial state can be of two types. First, either body can be at rest or body can be in motion. So if body is at rest, then we can change its state of rest, and that state of rest can be changed by applying some external force on it. So whenever we are applying external force, that time this body starts to move or this body starts to displace through some of the distance. But the inertial property of the body, that every body whenever it will have mass, then the particle through which the body is constituted, that particle opposes their state of the change in their state of rest, and due to that they apply a resistive force in opposite direction, and that resistive force or property is known as inertia. So it means first of all inertia property can be achieved in the case of state of rest. So this is known as inertia for state of rest. Next one, here whenever our body is in motion, and in motion, suppose it is moving with uniform velocity. So for uniform velocity, we don't have to apply any kind of force on it, because later if you will just will study actually Newton's law of motion, the second law of motion, that is defining the force by this way. And F is equal to ma, as you know, for uniform motion where velocity is constant, then acceleration on the particle, that will be 0. So from here we can say now force is 0, because mass of the body cannot be 0 in classical mechanics. So as if F is now 0, it means for the uniform motion we don't have to apply any kind of force. So without any kind of force, the particle can execute uniform motion. And example of this kind of motion is the revolution of Earth around the Sun. So whenever Earth is revolving around the Sun, its velocity or speed, you can say, or magnitude of velocity, that is constant. And as motion is uniform, it has constant speed, then it don't need any kind of extra energy to move over the circular path. Similar concept we are using whenever we are projecting some of the satellites in space, then that time also we are just using satellite for the circular or elliptical path, and over that also you don't have to do any work. So here as the state of motion, this is without any force. Now if we have to change the state of motion by application of some of the force, then it means either we can stop it or we can increase the velocity of the particle. So both of the things we can do, and whenever we will do, then we have to apply some of the force over it, because if its speed is changing, means its speed is either increasing or decreasing, then that time its acceleration will change, and whenever acceleration will change, then mass into acceleration, this quantity will change and force will change, means we are applying now some of the force on it to change its state of motion. So the property through which the body opposing in the change in its state of motion is known as inertia of state of motion. There is third kind of inertia also whenever there is change in direction. So as you know, force is the vector quantity. So vector quantity can be changed by only changing the direction, whether magnitude is changing or not. So suppose some of the body that is moving due east, and suddenly its direction is now changed and it start to move towards the north direction. So here suppose the particle velocity is 5 meter per second, and again it has magnitude 5 meter per second. So we are seeing its magnitude is constant but direction is changing, and due to change in direction the velocity of the particle will change, and that will change acceleration, that will change the that means that we are applying some of the force again. So to just turn around this north direction, we are applying force here. So it is now the, you can say, the property through which the body opposes any kind of change in its direction is known as its inertia of state of direction. So this is three types of inertia we have for motion, for rest and for directions. So basically inertia is property through which any of the body opposing its the change in its equilibrium condition or stable condition in which it is just supposed to be. Now our next problem after this discussion, when what is force and as F is equal to ma, that was not known in ancient time. We only understand force by our just daily life experience, that we are pulling, we are pushing something, but how can we define it? That was a very confusing topic for scientists. So first scientist that started to study about that was Aristotle. So Aristotle has given a fallacy, that is, if we were imagine a world without any frictional force, then no force would be required to keep a body moving uniformly along a straight line. So here he gave the concept only for a single type of force, that is frictional force, and according to him, if there is a world that is without any kind of frictional force, then as no of the body that will require any type of external force to move along the straight line. Means without application of any force, a body can move along the straight line with uniform velocity. So this concept you know already. Whenever particle will move along the straight line with uniform velocity, there is no acceleration that is working on it, then no of the force that we require to put on it for the motion of the. Later, Galileo started to work on again the concept of motion and rest, and he has given the concept of inertia, and the inertia concept is exactly the Galileo concept, and he has given the first law of motion. So the first law of motion is called also Galileo law of motion or Galileo's concept. So let's see what is Galileo's concept. It is the state of rest and the state of motion with constant velocity are equivalent. Means whether the particle is in state of rest or it is in state of motion. Here the word state of motion is always related for the uniform motion. This particle is moving with uniform velocity. So in both cases, no net force is acting on board. So here, according to Galileo concept, if the particle is in state of motion, then it will continue to be in state of motion. If it is in state of rest, then it will continue to be in state of rest until we are applying any external force on it. Means no net force is required for it. So this is the first time when we have just defined the force in a new way, that force is a quantity that required to change either the state of rest or state of motion. Now later Newton started to work on again motion and rest concept and frame of reference concept. So as you know, frame of reference are of two types. First is inertial frame and second is non-inertial. So here in this chapter we will study only for inertial frame of references, and inertial frame of references are those for which Newton's first law will hold good. And Newton's first law is for the constant velocity, or constant you can say acceleration. Means here acceleration will not vary with time, acceleration will be constant. So we are trying to study over all of the topic with constant acceleration or uniform acceleration now. So let's discuss the next concept here, that is the concept of first linear momentum. So before studying the law of motion given by the Newton, let's study what is linear momentum. So linear momentum of a body is defined as the product of mass and velocity of body. So as if it is represented by P and this is given by m into v, and if you will see linear momentum is the vector quantity, because velocity is vector quantity, so it will be now vector quantity. Now if you will see what is the physical significance or physical meaning of linear momentum. So linear momentum is a measure of motion of the body. Means it defines or it predicts, it gives us the clear information about the motion of the body, whether the body is in motion or not. So if velocity or momentum, you can say, if momentum of the body is 0, then that time the product mv, that will be 0. And as in classical mechanics I have told you, mass cannot be 0. We are only studying for the massive bodies. So here this will be equal to now v is equal to 0. Means particle is now at rest. Means with the information of momentum we can predict about the state of rest or motion for the particle. So it is just providing us the information for the, you can say, motion or rest of the particle. Now if we will have some of the value, then it means we will have some value, means particle is in motion. So it means it is the measure of motion. Whether the particle is moving or not, we can understand by the concept of linear momentum, and it is for the straight line. Now here if next term you will see what is the importance of linear momentum. So just now as I told you, without the information or knowledge about the linear momentum, we cannot say anything about the motion. So first, if we are going to study the motion or rest of the body, then we have to understand what is the linear momentum, and that I think you have understood now. Now let's start the next concept, that is Newton's law of motion. So here only qualitative things you have to study. So in the Newton's law of motion, you will see there are three laws of given by the Newtons, and all of our classical theory is based on this one. So let's see now the first law. So Newton's first law now. This law is known as law of inertia also. So we are calling it law of inertia. Now this law will give us qualitative information about the force. So from the Newton's law we are totally understanding about the force. Now let's see the statement of first law of Newton. So according to this law, a body is, will be in a state of motion or in a state of rest means continuously until and unless there we are applying any external force on it. Means if a body is in motion, then it will continue in motion until we are applying any external force on it. A body is in rest, then it will be continually in rest until we are applying any external force on it. Means to change the state of motion or rest, we always need a force. So from here the definition of force we are providing, and this law exactly, this is not Newton's law, this is provided by the Galileo. So he used the Galileo's law and it is called now the first Newton's first law, or it is called law of inertia, because from here the concept of inertia arise also. Like whenever we are going to change the state, then it means we need to some work. And why we need to we have to do some work? Due to the property of inertia. So whenever we will do some work, there will be some displacement, there will be some force now on the board. So for the force, the inertia concept is very important. So that's why this law is known as now law of inertia. And how many types of inertia we have understood already. Second law of motion, let's see. So Newton's second law of motion, this is known as now law of force. Now this motion gave us the quantitative idea about the force. The first law gave us qualitative idea about the force. Second law gives us quantitative idea about the force. Now the second, according to Newton's second law, the force is defined by the rate of change of momentum, linear momentum. Means if there is the change in the linear momentum with time, then it means that the force is applied on it. You can understand it by the first one. As if a state of rest is changing, it means that the particle start to go in motion. So that time momentum will change. So due to with time there will be change in momentum. It means that time we are applying some of the force on it. So it means whenever there is the change in momentum, that time there will be some force. So now you can see the linear momentum is playing again very important role to study about the force. So for the motion, for the force, this is very important concept now. Now we can write down in the place of P, we can use our formula mv. And as m is now constant, mass of the body, and that time it will be equal to dv by dt. And you know the rate of change of velocity is equal to acceleration. So we will formulate the formula for force now, that is F is equal to ma. So that F is equal to ma is, you can take the right formula by using the Newton's second law of motion, through which whenever there is the change in momentum, that time a force will act on it. Now let's see the third law of motion. So the third law of motion is known as now, third law. This is known as law of action reaction. Now law of action and reaction is what? So according to Newton's third law, for every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. So whenever you are applying the force on any body, then due to inertia, you know the body will apply some force against the applied force also, and that force is always equal and opposite to the force. So this is now the Newton's third law of motion, that is the law of action and reaction. Means for every action there is a reaction. So this is applied in our daily life also. When we are doing some actions, then we are always getting some of the reactions there. Like examples of if all Newton's three laws we have understood now. So from this you can understand in our universe all the forces are present in action reaction pair. And how can we define the force? We can define by this formula, or with quantitative idea, with qualitative idea. So the complete information about the force is given by the Newton's law of motion now. Now let's see the next concept, some of the applications of, or some of the examples of, you can say, the Newton's law of motion. Then the first, let's start the examples with inertia. So we will start our examples with the concept of now inertia. So as in inertia, you know, first type of inertia is inertia of rest. So inertia of rest as we have defined now, and if you will see now, some of the examples. Then for example, suppose on any cloth there are dust particles that are stuck off. Then if we have to just remove this dust particle, then if we will do some of the work on it, then that time as dust particle are in state of rest on the cloth, then whenever we will apply, due to inertia there is not sudden change in their motion, so they will not come in the motion with the motion of cloth. Then that time they are removed from the cloth by just doing some of the work on it. Similarly, when we are using the soap solutions, then that time when we are rubbing our clothes, then due to rub the dust, again the dust particles or stains that come out of the clothes. Reason again, as the stain or dust on the cloth that are in the state of rest, and when we are starting to rub the cloth, we are moving or we are providing some of the motion to the cloth, and that time due to rest their state of rest that doesn't change, and that's why they are removed from there. So these are all the examples of state of inertia of rest. Now second, let's see the inertia of motion. So inertia of motion you can understand. Suppose bus is moving with constant speed. Sudden when bus is stopped, then that time all the passengers start you can say come forward suddenly. So here that time if you haven't hold anything, then you will hit by some of the things that. So here that is due to our body is in a state of motion whenever the bus is continually moving, but suddenly when bus stop means its state of motion is changed to rest, but our body was again in motion, and due to that one, due to again rest and motion, our body was in continuous motion, and that's why we are just moving forward even bus is stopped now. So this is our example of inertia of motion. So the inertia of direction, that example I have given you already. Now let's see some examples for the you can say the second law of motion and the third law of motion. So the second law of motion, for first law, whatever the force you are using, that is the example of first law. Second law of motion we can use now as we have some of the examples sorry, patience dp by dt. So from here you can see if we can reduce the time for the change of motion, then that time, or change of momentum, that time force will be increased, or if we will increase the time, then force will decrease. Now where we are using that equation in our daily life, now whenever in cricket, suppose some of the ball that is hit by the batsman and some fielder that wants to catch the ball, then that time he takes their hand in backward direction. So the reason is whenever he is taking the hand in backward direction, it means he is increasing the time. So as ball is moving with very fast, very high speed, but whenever we will increase the time, then this ratio will decrease, and the force that will apply by the ball on the hand of the player, that will reduce, and that's why his hand will be saved from the speed of the ball. So that's this kind of things we are using in our life for the second law of motion. Again, a lot of examples we have. For third law of motion, if examples you will see, then examples for the third law of motion is like if you will see the gravitational force, then gravitational force are always existing in pair, because gravitational force is acting between two of the masses. Then first mass is applying, or it is attracting the second mass by the gravitation. So whenever body is attracting by this force of F, this one means a mass attracts the another mass by the gravitational force that is acting in this direction, means M1 is attracting by force to M2. Similarly, M2 is also attracting the body M1 by this force in this direction. So here you can see two of the forces are acting. Suppose this is F1, this is F2 now. So these two forces are always exist in pair. And also you can see these two forces are equal in magnitude, same value of magnitudes they have, but they have opposite direction. So we are just writing here minus sign now. So this is our third law of motion. Similarly, electrostatic force, if you will see, that is also exist in pair. Means one charge attracts with force, then another charge will also attract this force there. So number of, like whenever we are walking, we are applying some of the force on ground, and that time also a reaction force is applied by the ground on us. That is also the action reaction example. So students, with this one we are going to just end our class here, as inertia, force and Newton's law of motion, Galileo concept, Aristotle concept are all we have studied. So in next class we will move further in our chapter. For today let's end our class here.